Assalamu alaikum guys. Today we are going to start our lecture on calculation of moles by using titration method. I hope all of you will learn it very well. So by using titration method we have to calculate different questions based on calculations. So let's begin this calculation. Question number 5 from the paper October November 2019 and from the variant 4.2. So let's start this lecture. A student does an experiment to determine the percentage by mass of potassium iodide. Basically, what we have to determine in this question, to determine the percentage by mass of potassium iodide KiO3. So for this, in a sample of impure potassium iodide, the sample of impure potassium iodide is placed in a previously weighed container which is then reweighed. So in the beginning we have impure potassium iodide. So we have to calculate the mass of impure potassium iodide, and how we will get it? We will get it by minus the values of both these here. 8.20 minus 5.28, then by subtracting these values we will get the answer, that will be 2.92 gram. So in the first step we will minus these values. The student then, what will happen? The student transfers the sample of impure potassium iodide to a beaker, adds water and stir with a glass rod until all the solid has dissolved. Right? The solution is then transferred to a suitable container. The beaker is washed out twice with water and the washing are transferred to the same container as the solution. Why is the beaker washed out and the washing transferred to the same container as the solution? As you know, we have this, actually what happened. This is a beaker. In this beaker, potassium iodide is present here, right? Potassium iodide is present here in this beaker, okay? And then added water in it. In this beaker water is added to the solution, okay? Add water, right? Stir with glass rod. So by using glass rod a stirring will take place. So after stirring all the solution will get dissolved, right? All the solution will be dissolved. The solution is then transferred to the suitable container. The beaker is washed out twice with water and the washing is transferred. When we have to put this solution to a suitable container, where we have to make a solution in conical flask, or we have to transfer it in volumetric flask. So the beaker is washed out twice with water and the washing is transferred to the same container. Why is the beaker washed out and washing transferred to the same container? So if we have to make a solution, then we have to transfer this or whole of this solution to the volumetric flask. But why we should wash it again and again? Yes, a very important question. Why should wash it again and again? Why is the beaker washed out and the washing transferred to the same container as the solution? Right? We have to wash it, make sure the remaining solution from the beaker is completely transferred to the volumetric flask. So answer is, make sure the remaining solution is transferred from the beaker to the volumetric flask. Okay. The solution of impure potassium iodide V is made up to 500 centimeter cube with water. This is solution D. Name the container in which solution G is made. Actually, solution G, whenever we are going to have to make the solutions, then we have a special flask. This is called as volumetric flask. It is of 500 centimeter cube. So this is the volumetric flask. The student transferred 25.0 centimeter cube of G to a conical flask using a pipette. Which liquid should be used to wash out the pipette immediately before using it to measure 25.0 centimeter cube of G? Which liquid should be used? Question is this: we have this pipette, right, to measure 25 exact amount of to measure 25 centimeter cube of G, right? When liquid should be used to wash out the pipette, we have to wash out the pipette immediately before using it. Which material we should use? We should use G. Why? Because we don't want any particle, any drop of any other liquid in the pipette. So then we have to wash it with the solution G, which we have taken here. Alright. Then next, the student adds an excess of potassium iodide and an excess of dilute sulfuric acid to the conical flask. A reaction occurs to form iodine. This is solution H. So now a student adds an excess of potassium iodide and sulfuric acid. So the potassium iodide and sulfuric acid excess, but focus on the word excess. The student add an excess of aqueous potassium iodide and excess aqueous dilute hydrochloric acid. A reaction occurs to form iodine. This is solution H. The amount of iodine produced can be determined, right? Can be determined by titration with aqueous sodium thiosulfate with the suitable indicator. Solution L is 0.100 mole per decimeter cube Na2S2O3. So this is the 0.100. This one is basically the concentration. Whenever we have the word like this, then we have the concentration. So this is the concentration of sodium thiosulfate. L is put into a burette and run into the conical flask until the end point is reached. After the reaction, we have got a solution L, right? A reaction between potassium iodide and dilute sulfuric is taken place. A solution will formed after the reaction is solution L. So L is put into a burette, right, and run into the conical flask until the end point is reached. Remember here excess sulfuric acid is present. Excess sulfuric acid means we have excess amount of acid in the solution. So we will use this burette, fill this burette. This is a burette which will be filled with the solution 0 and 50 centimeter with the solution L. L is put into a burette and run into the conical flask until the end point is reached. Why is it necessary to measure exactly the same amount of potassium iodide and dilute sulfuric acid for each of the titration? The answer is here: excess aqueous potassium iodide. Because of the excess, the answer is because of the presence of excess of potassium iodide and excess of sulfuric acid are used. So excess amount of potassium iodide and excess sulfuric acid are used. So due to this reason, we have to take the exact amount of aqueous potassium iodide and dilute sulfuric acid for the exact measurement. So next procedure, titration will take place drop wise. 3 times titration process will be taken place, and then drop wise we will add if this is a burette, okay, solution L is here, solution G is an conical flask or titration flask. When drop wise solution is added, we will start the titration. The titration are done. The diagram shown parts of the burette with the liquid levels at the beginning. So this is the first titration, second titration and third titration. So titration number, first titration. First we have to write the final values. The final values of, if we have to fill, so this one, these are the final values. These are the final values. So first we have to write the final values. Then this one is 22.6. Another final value is 46.8. And then 32.8. okay. After that, the initial value. So the next value which we have to take, that is the initial. Let me change the color. I want to take green. Okay. Now the initial value is 0 centimeter cube, and then initial value of titration 2 is 23.6, and then the titration third one is 10.2. Now in the next step we have to minus the values of initial titration with the final values. So in the first we will get the answer 22.6, 23.2 and then 22.6. The closest, the less difference between these values, like 0.2 difference, you can get it. When the difference is very less, then we will tick these are the best titration results. So here we have the same value 22.6. Otherwise we have to get the average volume. The way to calculate the average volume is 22.6. when we have to get the average volume of two values, plus and divided it by 2, then we will get the values 22.6 centimeter cube. So this is the use these results to calculate the average volume. So if we have to calculate the average volume of L, then we will divide it, get the average volume like this. So in the next, calculate the number of moles of calculate the number of sodium thiosulfate Na2S2O3 in the average volume of L. Concentration is given. So now in the previously we have calculated, what we have calculated? We have calculated actually the number of moles of Na2S2O3, volume of Na2S2O3. So in the previous part, which one is here? If you will check, so this is the average volume of L. What average volume of L? L is the sodium thiosulfate. You can check L put in the burette, and L is the solution of sodium thiosulfate. You can here check it. I am going to highlight the aqueous solution of L is basically sodium thiosulfate. So we have got the volume of sodium thiosulfate from this table, right? And from after getting the volume 22.6, that is L sodium thiosulfate, we have to calculate the moles. So if we know the concentration, right, if we know the concentration, this is the concentration of sodium thiosulfate, and we have the volume, then what we will do in that case? Okay, we have to calculate the moles. Here they have written calculate the moles of sodium thiosulfate. We can calculate. Formula to calculate sodium thiosulfate is moles is equal to concentration into volume. But guys, remember, this step is almost same in all titration, all the years where you people have to calculate the number of moles of the solution. So if we have to calculate the moles of solution, then concentration is, the concentration is 0.100 multiplied by volume, which we have calculated in the previous part, that is 22.6. Now we are not going to take this value in centimeter cube, we have to convert it in decimeter cube, so we divided it. Why? Because in formula we need decimeter cube. So after calculating this, we will get the value. We will divide 22.6 divided by 1000 multiplied by concentration, we will get the moles. We will get the answer like the answer is 0.00226. We have to take the value till 3 significant figures. We can write the value like this. In different calculators you can get the answer like this: 2.26 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 3. The answer can be this. If we have the calculator where we can get the answer like this, we can write it like this. Okay. Now next, use the equation to calculate the number of moles of iodine and hydrogen in the conical flask. We have the moles of sodium thiosulfate, and we have to calculate the moles of iodine. Which method we can use? Yes, the method we can use, this is the ratio method. Whenever we have to move from one part to another, we have to use the titration method, sodium thiosulfate ratio with iodine. Because we want to get the moles of iodine, we know the moles of sodium thiosulfate. So the if we know something, any moles, then we can compare with it. From the equation, 2 moles of sodium thiosulfate, 1 mole of reacts with 1 mole of iodine. But if we have the value, we have got the moles of sodium thiosulfate 0.00226. Ratio method, we will divide these two x, the way how we will get the answer. 2 multiplied by x, okay, we will write it 2x, right, is equal to 0.022 multiplied by 1. So we will multiply it with 1 and we will get the answer same like this, right? Now if we have to calculate x, 0.00226 divided by 2. So after dividing these values, we will get the answer, and the answer is, if we will calculate, the answer will be 0.00113, and you can get it like, write it like this, 1.3 into, or you can write the answer like this, 1.3 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So these are the moles of iodine which we have to calculate after doing the ratio method. So we will get the answer 1.3 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So next part is use the equation to calculate the number of moles of potassium uh, uh, the moles of potassium iodate, that is KiO3, that produces the number of moles of iodine calculated in H. This is the number of moles of KiO3 in 25.0 centimeter cube of G. So we know the moles of iodine. We know the moles of iodine, right? Again I am telling it to you, if we know the values of one part, so we can get the value of another by using the ratio method. So the method which we will use now, that will be the ratio method. Okay, ratio method between iodine, because we know the moles of iodine, right? We know the moles of iodine which we have calculated, right, in H part. So we will use those moles. KiO3, potassium iodate. Now what we will do, here 3 moles of iodine reacts with 1 mole of KiO3 if 1.3 or 0.00113 moles of iodine reacts. How many potassium iodate will produce? So it will be 0.00113 divided by 3. Then answer will be 3x, and multiply by it, you will get the answer, that is the, after calculating we will get the value 0.000377, or another way we can write the value, that is the 3.77 into 10 raised to power minus 4. So this can be the answer of it. So calculate the number of moles of potassium iodate, that is KiO3. So here we have got the moles in 25. So remember, this is very important to know the steps of each and every part. So remember that here we have how many centimeter cube? 25 centimeter cube of G. The answer of this one, we have taken the amount in the beginning, that is 25, 0.0 centimeter cube. We have taken this amount through pipette. So 25.0 centimeter cube of G. Calculate the number of moles of KiO3 in 500 centimeter cube of G. So what we will do, again we will do the ratio method, right? How? Okay, look at here. Calculate the number of moles of potassium iodate. The answer which we have got, the moles, remember here are the moles of KiO3, right? We have calculated moles of KiO3. Okay, calculate the number of moles of KiO3 in 500 centimeter cube of G. Okay, if in 25.0 centimeter cube we have got the number of moles of KiO3 is 0.000377. okay, in 500 how many moles of KiO3 will be there? So if we will cross multiplicate it, we can use it like this. 25.0x is equal to 0.000377 moles. Okay, next in 500, multiply by 500. Okay, if we will get the value of x, what we will do, 0.000377 multiply by 500 and then divided by 25.0. So what is the answer over there? We will get the answer, divide these values, the answer will be, calculated the number of moles of KiO3 in 500.0 centimeter cube of G. In the next step, what we have to do, calculate the molecular mass of potassium iodate. So for this we have the atomic masses. Potassium iodate, how to calculate? 39 plus 127 plus 16 into 3, the answer will be 214 molecular mass of potassium iodate, that is KiO3. So use your answer J and K to calculate the mass of potassium iodate in the sample of impure potassium iodate. So we have to know what we have in answer J and K. If we want to calculate, we have the formula. Moles is equal to mass over MR or AR. But if we have to calculate the mass, then we must know the moles and MR. So we have calculated the molecular mass, relative molecular mass, that is 412. So if we want to calculate mass, we will take the answer from J and K. So if we will move at the back, K is 215, J is 0. The answer of J is, let me write the answer of J. So the answer of J is 0.00753. So the answer of in J is 0.00753 and molecular mass is 214. If we move ahead, use your answer A and I to calculate the percentage by mass of potassium iodate. First we have to calculate the mass. Moles are 0.00753 multiplied by, the answer will be 1.61 gram. So this is the way through which we will calculate the moles, and all the steps you have to practice. If you will practice these steps, you will get the answer. Use your answer to A to calculate the percentage by mass of KiO3 in the sample of impure potassium iodate. So in order to calculate the purity of a substance, percentage purity, we will use the answer A and I, calculate the percentage by mass. So first what we have the answer of calculate the percentage by mass of potassium iodate in the sample of impure potassium iodate. So we will write the pure substance here, mass of pure substance, divided by mass of impure substance, impure potassium iodate, KiO3. If we have to calculate the percentage purity, mass of substance divided by mass of impure potassium iodate. So pure one we have calculated after the reaction, that is 1.61, and the answer in the beginning A, if you want to check what we have calculated in part A, what was the mass over there, that is the 2.92. So in A we have impure and we have calculated the pure amount which have reacted in the equation, in the reactions. So 1.61 divided by 2.92, yes, and the answer is 55.2%. So this is the end part of the question where we have calculated 55.2% of pure substance of potassium iodate, KiO3. So practice, all the parts are very much resembled with this, so you have to practice all of the rest of the titration. You can get the benefit from here. If you want more practice, and then I can make more videos on titration to give better understanding of the calculation of titration. So I hope so you people have learned it very well and practice it. If you have learnt even a single word, so don't forget to subscribe my channel. Practice is the key of success. So signing off, Ms. Aisha Manzoor.